I know, yeah, okay, he's finally talking about this. Generic Control in the That Goes Me here, back with another game theory video. Today we're doing another Minecraft one, the murky history of Minecraft's underwater gods, and it's going to be talking about the drowned. The last video I did was actually a film theory video on the FNAF movie, but the week before that I did the tragic story of Minecraft's zombie pigman. You can check my reaction to that video, I'll leave it right up there. Also link down below in the description, and will probably be in a place on my channel at some point for all of the game theory Minecraft videos, because I'm going to be doing all of them. I've already done all the FNAF videos on film theory and game theory and all that fun stuff, and even food theory, which is really good. I absolutely love the videos, and I think we're actually approaching almost the end of Matt Pat being the host of all the videos across all the channels. So I think we have like a couple days left of that, or the final day is going to be coming up really soon, which is going to be a really sad occasion. But I'm still going to be watching old stuff and new stuff, so I look forward to that. Shout out to the patrons because they get the videos there early at 11 time on my Patreon channel. I'm streaming Minecraft every single Monday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm almost done making it. By the time you're watching this, the mountain's probably going to be completely done. I just got to make it look more natural and add trees and stuff like that. It's been taking me months to do, and now I got to restore it in an ancient city, which is going to be fun. But let's go ahead and jump to the murky history of Minecraft's underwater gods.
The ocean. A beautiful blue crystal on this cuboidal planet we call home. Home to sea creatures large and small.
Where's the large
the
ones?
Majestic squid, the playful dolphin.
The reborn souls of the dead waiting to drag into your water.
Oh, get around.
All today on Game Theory.
The 13 plus
Hello,
demographic.
Welcome to Game Theory, where today we're engaging in a
His
very
Minecraft game
mature
theories are
13
awesome.
plus critical analysis of a fun for all ages game, Minecraft. Does
Uh-huh.
that cover me? Not gonna get hit by any FTC fines, right? Here, let me throw in some big words just in case.
What?
Entrepreneurship,
That's it?
anti-disestablishmentarianism, defenestration, rampant consumerism. Hey, you know, speaking of rampant consumerism
gonna be an
and
ad?
that 2020 copper purge, if you want to
Yeah.
protect this channel while also showing your theorist pride and staying cozy this
Did they make
season,
Minecraft
brand new
stuff?
Theoryware is available right now.
Because they had like
right
officially
below
licensed
this
Five
video.
Nights at
We've
Freddy's
got
stuff.
Everything from a glow-in-the-dark T-shirt to new.
I've heard
lounge
amazing
chairs, a
things
Nintendo
about their,
Switch case, an awesome
their
new flake
clothing
jacket
lines.
that combines a windbreaker and a hoodie, and even this little tube tumbler guy. You
A
try to
what?
push him over, you can't knock him over. Anyway,
What?
items are starting to sell out, so if you have a
I've never
theorist
seen
in your
that
life
before.
you want to get a cool holiday gift for, or if you just want to show your theorist pride yourself, check them out right now to ensure that you get yours in plenty of time before the holidays.
Well,
since we're
it's,
doing quick update stuff,
March
just a
2nd.
reminder that December 3rd is our big
I think I missed
charity
it.
live stream in honor of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Oh, didn't they
which
raise a
helps
ton of
cure
money?
kids
Didn't they raise like $1
with
million
cancer,
or
also being
something?
a world leader in cancer research. And even though the stream might be happening on a Tuesday, it is going
On
all
Tuesday.
day. So whenever you want to tune in, we'll be there waiting
That's
for
fair.
you. And the big reveal of that new FNAF game is happening during the usual live stream
Which
time.
one is
before
that?
10 p.m.
What's the new
Pacific.
FNAF game?
I hope
How
to
old is
see
this?
all of you there at least at
4
some
years
point throughout
ago.
the day. Scott Coffin literally just revealed on Reddit that the game is going to contain, get this, $500,000 for us to find. If we find it and claim it, then he'll donate it to St. Jude. So
That's awesome.
basically, the gauntlet
Yeah.
has been thrown down for Dawko, Markiplier,
That's-
and I. And
that's
the
a little
pressure
bit-
is on
that's
for
some
us to
stress.
perform. The thing is going to be a blast, and all of it is in honor of an incredible cause. So please try and make it. So
Which
we can make
is
the holidays
very
just a bit
good.
brighter for some amazingly brave kids out there fighting.
I think I've raised money for St.
All right,
Jude's.
with all that housekeeping out
Definitely
of the way,
think I
let's
have.
talk some
Even
Minecraft,
when I was, like,
shall
in
we?
school.
Today we're getting our Little Mermaid on and going
haven't seen
down where
Little
it's
Mermaid.
better, down where it's better, under the sea. In Minecraft, the underwater biomes just don't seem to get enough love. Sure, everyone is always excited
Well-
to make songs dedicated to the fiery death plains of the Nether, or to discuss the otherworldly void of the end, but the watery depths of the overworld offer just as many breathtaking
Which is
sights
kinda
and
like
unusual
real life.
creatures and
Everybody's talking about
mysteries,
space. We
and
don't
yet
know
no
enough
one
about the
really
ocean.
seems to care. It's kind of like art imitating life, because here in real life, we're so
Cybertruck,
focused on space
which
exploration
only
that most of our
recently
undersea biomes here
started
on Earth
getting
gone
shipped
completely
out.
unexplored. I think we've only seen
I
like
still get to see one in person.
5% of them. So today I'm gonna change
Yep.
that. Not the 5% thing. Heck no, that water is cold. No, I'm
I think
just
it's
gonna sit on my
5%
butt and
has
talk
been
about
mapped.
oceans in a video game for about 18 minutes. What's the deal with the Guardians and the Elder Guardians? Where did they come from? Are they just
question.
giant fish creatures that really like hanging out in ocean monuments? Did they build the ocean monuments?
That'd be
Pretty
cool.
unlikely. And speaking of those
Maybe they can
buildings,
zap
what's
the sand.
deal with those massive underwater mazes? How did the drowned fit into all this? What are these trident-wielding mer people? Are they just zombies that fell into the water?
That's
Get
just
ready
add
to take
water.
the plunge, because today today and next episode, we're diving
And next
straight into
episode?
the deep end. What first started me down the path of ocean mysteries were the Guardians, and their bigger granddaddies, the Elder Guardians. From a mob standpoint, I mean, sure, they're giant
Well, the
sea
Elder ones are
creatures
just
with
bigger.
one eye and spikes. Nothing super weird there right off the bat, but what initially got me
Are they designed after
senses tingling
pufferfish?
was the way that they attack, with a literal laser beam. An underwater eye
I mean, they don't
beam
have
requires
arms.
time to charge up before it launches at you and causes massive amounts of damage.
Is it massive?
That's pretty weird for a fish, or really any sort of natural
It's like a
organic
Pokemon.
living creature. I mean, Minecraft is a game full of fantastical creatures, don't get me wrong, but attacking with eye laser cannons just felt
Maybe it's
out of
an
place
underwater
for
thing,
me.
I don't know.
So I just kept swimming,
Okay,
and still
Dory.
across an even more unusual detail, their inability to die. You see, if you take a Guardian or Elder Guardian out of the water, it just flops around
Wait, does it
on
not
dry
die?
land, like a cubic Magikarp. But why this matters is what doesn't happen.
It doesn't
You
die.
See, it doesn't suffocate when exposed
Like
to
a
the
dolphin.
air. It literally just keeps flopping around until you carve it up to make sushi. Well,
Still
it's
never
just
had
a video
sushi.
game mechanic, I hear you saying, and you'd be right if only other fish behaved the same way. For every other fish in the game, you take it out of the water,
Yeah.
it flops around and eventually dies.
And turns
Take a
into
squid out
item.
of the water, it suffocates and dies. Take a salmon out of the water, it suffocates and dies. Take a pufferfish or a cod out of the water,
Yep.
they
Aw.
suffocate and they die.
I like how the
If you can't
item for
tell,
the
there were a lot of
pufferfish is
Borneo
bigger than
animals
the
that were harmed during
actual
the production
model.
of this video. Anyway, the Guardians and the Elder Guardians are the only undersea creatures that can live indefinitely on the land. So between
Are
that and the
they-
laser eye thing, there was just something, pardon the pun, fishy about them.
Were
Or,
they
actually, that's completely the wrong
builders of
pun,
the
because
past?
It was something that didn't feel fishy about them. Something that felt a bit less like an animal and a bit more like a machine. Let's look closer at the design of the Guardian. Notice the colors of its flesh and the cracked patterns across its body. It's nearly identical to the prismarine blocks that form the ocean monument around it.
So are they living
Coincidence?
blocks?
I think not. And that isn't just my observation either. In Minecraft's official mob bestiary, the in-depth
That's
guide
a
written from the
sick-looking
perspective of an
cover,
animal
actually.
researcher in the Minecraft world, they specifically allude to this fact.
That they
Quote,
look like
"Their skin is
prismarine?"
cracked, as if carved from some ancient rock, and their single white eye is somehow both unknowable and cruel." End quote. Ancient rock, you say?
That's
like
spooky.
perhaps prismarine? The
Yeah,
very
maybe.
same stone that serves as the primary building block for all ocean monuments? The only
Yeah.
place in the game where they spawn? Further supporting
That's
the idea
also
that
true.
the Guardians aren't made of flesh, but rather of prismarine stone is their drop
But is
beam.
the Elder
The
Guardian, what are they
Guardian
made
has
out
a
of?
40% chance of dropping prismarine crystal, which, for a fish, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, if you kill a sheep, it drops you wool. If you drop a cow, it drops you, like, cow flesh. But if you're a non-organic creature built from the nearby rocks and minerals, well,
drops
that could certainly explain
rocks and minerals.
a whole lot. And speaking of their drop behavior, the mob bestiary does a drop of its own. Another interesting tidbit about the Guardians. Quote again, Elder Guardians will also drop a water
So are they made out of
absorbing
sponge?
killed by an adventurer. And if it doesn't drop
then where do they
prismarine
come from?
crystal, one will find raw fish of some kind in its place. Some scholars think that this is evidence that its diet consists of fish and other natural watery food stuff,
Like
but
sponge?
Guardians have never been seen to wander far from their
Well,
temple homes
I don't even
to
think they
catch
can
them, so we
swim
cannot be
out.
sure. End quote. It's an odd detail to include there at the end, right? To specifically call out, hey, they drop fish, meaning that they might eat fish, but, you know, considering the fact that they never leave the ocean monuments they spawn in,
That they don't.
probably don't eat the fish. Again, all the
Yeah.
evidence seems to be pointing to these creatures not being animals, as I'm sure we
And that would
all
explain
assumed them
lasers,
to be,
maybe.
but rather some sort of artificial creation. A defense mechanism built
By
of the
who?
surrounding materials somehow mixed with
Dude,
real-life
imagine
fish, or
if
real-life
they
fish
could, like,
DNA
silverfish,
protect
like,
the
popped
very
out of the
monument
wall,
that
like,
they
the block
spawn
just comes to
inside.
life.
Even the creature's anatomical design inside the mob bestiary seems to contain some level of secrets. For most other mobs in the game, the book has this incredible illustration of their inner workings. The dense skeletons of the creeper, the humanoid brains of the enderman. But for the Elder Guardian, we get ourselves a piece-by-piece dissection of the eye, with components that
Just
look
the
more
eye.
like wires, leading to panels
I
meant
mean,
to charge up its laser. And underneath
that works
thick,
underwater.
rocky skin, nothing much. A thin layer of pink with a gray area that appears to be stone. It's certainly not any sort of bony structure. It's not anything that resembles the inner workings of a fish. And
Yeah,
it's certainly not
that's a
anything that looks
complex-looking
remotely
fish.
organic. Lastly, it's worth noting that the Elder Guardian's eye will still have the ability to track a player who's invisible, seeming to
Wait,
suggest
what?
that this mob is dealing in the thermal spectrum, tracking your heat
Huh.
signature rather than any sort of visual sign of your movement patterns. So again, another
Going off
weird,
thermal and
interesting
water is
detail about these
wild.
creatures. I mean, even the name seems to allude to it, Guardian. Considering they only spawn inside ocean monuments and they're called guardians, if they were
Okay.
man-made,
We're just going through the ground.
They were made to act as some sort of security mechanism.
For
But then
what? What are they protecting? Is it the gold?
Well, despite ocean monuments being massive complexes, there's really only two unusual rooms worth calling out inside of them.
Sponge
The sponge
room.
room and the treasure room. The first is fairly self-explanatory.
It's a room full of
the sponge
sponges.
room. It is a room full of
More valuable
sponges.
than a gold,
There's
for
not
sure.
much more to say there. I'm personally more of a loofah man myself, but still, it's odd that whoever built this enormous building deemed it necessary to dedicate a room to this one oddly specific item. More on that in a minute,
Yeah.
because it's the treasure room that
It's not even that much gold, though.
want to focus on. You see, while every monument may not necessarily contain itself a sponge room, all monuments
I thought they all
do
have a sponge
contain
room.
themselves a treasure chamber, a central area with a tall ceiling and 8 gold blocks located in the middle. Gold blocks that are encased or hidden behind a layer of dark prismarine. And it's this right here that is perhaps the most oddly specific design choice hidden in the entire
Why? 'Cause it's
game.
dark
Here we are
prismarine?
in the middle of this massive underwater complex made entirely of one
Also,
material.
don't you like how
Just
it's floating,
varieties of
even though
prismarine
gold's really
everywhere.
heavy?
That's it. And yet, smack in the middle, the designers decide to include this massive golden box. All right, that alone would make some kind of sense.
I mean,
guess,
they'd be like,
displaying
yeah,
your
well, people
prized
wanna go
treasure
there.
Like it's a core to the entire building, but it's the fact that the gold is hidden under another layer. That the gold is literally encased within a box of dark prismarine, within a box of another stone hidden away, that really strikes me as noteworthy here. And it's those details, coupled with the overall design of the structure, that leads me to believe that the ocean monuments were made to be religious buildings. First, let's just start by looking at the overall design of the
were
ocean
they supposed to be like
monuments.
offerings?
It's a classic ziggurat structure, a staircase-like
Oh.
building with wide flat landings that get
Yeah.
narrower each level up. Basically, it's like a big pyramid, but with some
Is that
stopping
Obama
points
in
as
a
you get higher.
pyramid?
Whereas a more traditional pyramid, like those in Egypt, consists
Yeah.
of a smooth, continuous line all the way to the peak. Ziggurats were
the
famous in
pyramids are
ancient
wild.
Mesopotamia, basically the first place you learn about in world history class and never fully understand or care about.
Very
Cradle of
fair, very fair.
civilization, have no idea what that is. Let's just get to ancient Greece and Egypt already.
Yeah.
Those are the cool ones. Or at least that's how I felt when I was learning those units. So I went back, refreshed
They didn't
myself
even
on all that information,
teach
and let me
much
clear
about
it up
those
for you.
either.
Mesopotamia back in the day was where modern-day Iraq and part of Syria are today. So basically, it's an ancient civilization located in the Middle East. That is where you would find structures like the one that we see depicted here in Minecraft. So, knowing the real-life
But
structure
don't
that
the
these monuments
ones,
are based
like,
on,
in
you can start to get clues
Central
as to
America,
what their intended
similar?
use was in the Minecraft lore. You see, in ancient Mesopotamia, a ziggurat's main purpose was
This
religion.
is way
It was
before
meant
them,
to
I'm pretty
connect
sure.
heaven and earth. They're thought to have been built to literally house the gods.
So what's the purpose
As
of the
such,
gold?
Only priests were allowed to get inside of the ziggurats. And this hypothetical religious use seems to be supported by Minecraft. You see, one other key feature of the ocean monument is the fact that underneath the monument are 23 giant pillars
Why
that
23?
stretch down to the ocean floor. And it's always 23.
Why?
Unless, of course, there's some weird spawn hiccup. But that 23 number, I've said it so many times this episode, it seems so oddly specific, right? It has
Why
got to
23?
mean something.
What is the
And wouldn't
significance
you
of
know
that?
it, I think it does. You see, the number 23 is just one of those numbers that's considered to be really important to humans. It's a prime
Michael
number,
Jordan?
which already makes it special. It's the number of chromosome pairs that we have in our body.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
basketball star Michael Jordan's number. There's a really bad Jim Carrey movie all
LeBron
about the number
James as well.
23. So, you know, really important
number
stuff
23?
here. But all
What?
joking aside, there's
That's a
even
movie?
something called the 23 Enigma. Essentially a belief that the number has some sort of magical or mystical significance because of
Huh?
how much it shows up in our day-to-day lives.
I mean, that's
So
how I
when
am
it
with
comes
number
to
27. It
numbers,
appears everywhere.
23 is kind of a big deal, just behind top 10, lucky 7, and I guess unlucky 13. But when it comes to religion, 23 is an even bigger deal. You see, in the Islamic faith, there's the Quran. It's the Islamic sacred book,
Yeah.
just like Christians have themselves the Bible and Judaism has the Torah. The Quran is believed to be the word of God as dictated to the Prophet Muhammad, and it took, get this, 23 years
wow.
for the entire
How
book to be
oddly
revealed
specific.
to Muhammad. It's also Muslim belief that the first verses of the Quran were revealed to the Prophet Muhammad on the 23rd night of the 9th Islamic month. So again, in the Islamic faith,
Ramadan?
the number 23 matters a lot, meaning that those 23 pillars in the Minecraft Ocean Monument could very easily be referencing
What if
important
Minecraft's
pieces
like
of
the
religious
future
architecture
of the
found
world as we
around
know
the
it?
Middle East?
I don't
No,
know.
ziggurats aren't mosques, where Islamic faith is currently practiced, but they are connected by geographic region and religious connotation. Now, here is where everything
Man,
comes
but- oh
together.
yeah, it's
If
all come
Minecraft's
together.
Ocean monuments
What
were
is that, The
indeed
Emperor's New
places of
Groove? Haven't
religious
seen that movie.
significance, where an ancient race of people believed gods could come down onto the earth and live,
And they,
it could
I guess,
explain the
left
box of
gold for them?
encased in dark prismarine with sea lanterns lanterns in each of its corners.
Well, wasn't
to
it
understand why,
Egypt were
you have
obsessed
to
with
be
gold, weren't
familiar
they?
With the Kaaba. The Kaaba is a black cube building at the center of Islam's most important mosque, the Great Mosque of Mecca. It is the most
I thought
important place
that was
in the
just
Islamic
called
faith.
Mecca.
So important that practitioners
I didn't know
of
that
Islam are
that it
almost
had a different name.
required to take a pilgrimage to see this once in
Yeah,
their
there's
life
always
and
a
give
live
worship
stream of
there.
that
Why?
going on.
Well, it's thought
People
that
just
the
walk around in a
Kaaba
circle.
is the house of God, the sacred house, the connection between heaven and
And
the
pretty
earth.
sure
The
you're
Kaaba
supposed to
is a
pray every
sacred
day
place
in the
with an
direction
inside
towards
of
it.
golden marble, but on the outside, it appears to just be a large black cube of dark granite, just like we see in the game with the dark prismarine being on the outside of those golden cubes. In each of the corners in Minecraft is a sea lantern, and wouldn't you know it, each corner of the Kaaba also has itself a special symbolic significance, most
What?
often pointing to one key location from Islamic
Oh.
history. So could it be that the Guardians
not know
of
that.
Minecraft are protecting the most sacred treasure of all, the location, or at least the
But there's only
perceived
one per
location
temple.
of God himself?
But there's
It
so many
sounds
temples.
Crazy, but remember, the ending of Minecraft
I know,
does
yeah,
indeed
okay, he's
have
finally
two
talking about
godlike
this.
figures speaking with each other about your gameplay. The fact that gods exist in the canonical universe of Minecraft
what
is
that
an
is.
established part of the lore. I mean, a lot of the details really line up here. The ziggurat structure connects us to the
Did
Middle
they
East and
remove the
Islamic
water?
tradition. The 23 pillars and their importance to Islamic faith, covering up the golden, important interior of a building with a dark stone exterior just like the Kaaba. The perfect cubic shape of both of those structures. The importance of each of the corners. The need to have the Guardians protecting this place at all. Heck,
But they have
even
robots.
the name. This is
Ocean
the Ocean
Mon-
Monument. It isn't a ruin, it's not a temple, it's a monument. Monument is a word used to honor a place of historical significance, a place of the dead, or an
of
important
dead.
figure like a god. You don't call the building that houses
And,
your
yeah.
sponge room a monument.
But why do they have
Oh yeah, and
sponge
it's
room?
worth mentioning here as one last final note, the one practical function of the ziggurat was actually to serve as just a high place on which the priests could escape rising water that would flood the Mesopotamian areas every year. Rising water,
Really?
huh? Maybe the underwater monuments weren't quite so underwater.
It seems like
So
they
we have
picked a
ourselves the
pretty
heat-seeking
low
laser
point.
shooting fish that might have been man-made to protect an underwater monument dedicated to what may or may not be an ancient god. Now the only question is, who built it? Why is it here underwater?
An
And
ancient
that, my
race of
friends,
people,
is
or the
explained
drowned?
Through two words, the drowned.
The drowned
That
built the
theory
monuments.
Have to wait for another
I guess
day.
that'll be the
In
next one. That'll be out next week.
meantime,
Page to think of the day
remember,
early.
That's just a
Unless there's a new
theory.
FNAF video that comes out.
Game theory. Thanks for watching.
That's my washing machine? Yeah, it's definitely my washing machine. Okay, so very interesting. I never looked at the ocean monuments like that. But like I said, people consider this like his magnum opus that I think a lot of times he's actually probably hitting the mark with a lot of these. I think the last one, the Zombie Pigman, I think that one kind of didn't. That one kind of fell a little flat as more stuff would come out with the piglins and whatnot. But the next one's going to be the Sunken Tomb, and then we're going to have the Scary Crimes of Minecraft Illagers. Oh, he's going to have a field day with the Woodland Mansions. Oh, dude, there's so many like cool little structures. I wonder if he ever makes a video on the wells in the desert, because for the longest time, that's all we had. Or maybe that was just, they just did that just because like, hey, you need a little oasis in the desert? There you go, here's a little well. And now they actually added things where you can like brush it and whatnot. He might talk about the pyramids. I don't know. I really look forward to the next one. These have been amazing so far, and thank you so much for the support you've shown in these videos. I stream Minecraft on Monday. I look forward to reading your comments. But until next video, take care and keep the music.